And by the end of this video, you're going to know the two industries that I think will perform best in 2025 after Donald Trump's election. And I'll be sharing a few stocks that I like in each, because if you want to profit off of his presidency, you are in the right place. Trump has several policies he'll be implementing that could help these absolutely explode. But then we'll discuss the industries that I would avoid at the end of the video, because they're the ones that are going to probably be hurt the hardest from his policies. So anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let's get into it. Okay, so Trump's commitment to bolstering national defense is expected to lead to increased military spending, sorry, which would benefit defense contractors and aerospace companies. If you haven't picked up on the industry, it's defense and aerospace. So historically, Republican presidents have prioritized defense budgets. So this happened during Reagan's presidency. The defense budget saw a huge increase as a part of his Cold War strategy. So this led to explosive growth for companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing back then. So the industry is also embracing AI and digital technologies, kind of revolutionize maintenance, repair, overhaul services. So this adoption aims to extend the lifespan of existing aircraft and improve operational efficiency, similar to how modern tech boosted efficiency in the Iraq War under George W. His administration. So I'd look to profit from the companies that I'm about to share with you in a few ways. So you can buy the shares outright and gain from share appreciation, but also collect dividends along the way, as a matter of fact. However, these companies also have options, which I do plan to utilize. I'll sell some cash secured puts, I'll sell some covered calls. And the companies I'm watching, as a matter of fact, let's pull up some charts here. So first and foremost, Lockheed Martin, LMT. And if we do look, we're kind of at where what could be a dip buy right now. Now, this is not financial advice. This is nothing for you to, again, not personalized financial advice. This is just me sharing my opinion as I go through these. But is in a dip. There's Northrop, what's it, NOC. Now that's actually in a zone, and I kind of like this one right now. And the last one, General Dynamics, actually GD, also right in a zone. And if you know how I like to do things just from technical matters, I do like to buy inside these zones. But industry number two, in fact, let me get out of here. Okay, there we go. Industry number two, energy. So deregulation. So efforts to reduce environmental regulations may favor traditional energy sectors, including oil and gas. And you've heard this a lot from Trump, how we're going to be the number one with oil. We'll have it all. You've heard it all, right? His acceptance speech basically just said, we're going to do it with oil, and we don't care about green energy. So we saw this under George W. Bush, where we saw significant deregulation in energy. So that leading to a boom in oil companies like Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron. Trump's second term is expected to align with these policies, potentially boosting these traditional energy sectors again. Case in point, if you've been watching any of my streams lately, I've told you guys I'm very bullish. This should come as no surprise. Another factor is global electricity demand is projected to grow by approximately 4%. Does not sound that big. That's just in 2025. But that is some of the highest levels of power demand growth in decades. And this a lot is going to be because of AI. We talked about this previously when I was breaking down Mara. And then getting into data centers. Data centers are going to have a huge demand for power, and it's also why I absolutely loved what Zuckerberg did with Meta. He went out and locked in data centers in the United States for that clean, stable power. So anyway, Trump has also shown his disregard for solar and wind. We will get into that. I think these sectors, along with battery storage, they're all expected to continue growing in 2025. His acceptance speech was basically, you should just never own a solar panel ever again in your life. They are garbage. summed up. I'm very big. You've heard me talk about Tesla. Very big on their energy storage, just the batteries in general. You can collect it from the sun, but you can only use it while the sun is up. So it is important to store it places, or for any of these going green, using the sun, using the earth in general to collect that power. I think that will grow, just powering the energy storage in general. Uh, Now, profiting from these will be a little bit trickier. This sector is a little bit more volatile, which definitely creates more risk. Kind of like I just said, we're gonna need the energy. We have ways to produce it that are green. You're gonna have Trump talking about how we don't need it, but we do. So just that in general. Plus, we have. You never know when World War III could break out. I think that could jump up energy, as far as energy like oil and gas overnight, real quick. But let me bring the charts back up. Try and do this the transition. Try to be a cool YouTuber. First and foremost, oops, hang on the wrong screen. Tesla. Let me make sure I didn't do anything here. There we go. Okay, so Tesla energy storage. I told you guys I am incredibly bullish. I'm hoping that pulls down much further. Now right now I have the 275 puts sold for the next 5 weeks. So every Friday expiration for the next 5 weeks, I do have puts sold. I plan on keeping those. I might bump up the strike to the 285s. And I'm going to keep that until I get assigned, or I'm just going to collect a bunch of free money. Is kind of how that's gonna pan out. Another pretty popular one people keep talking about, Next Era Energy. Now, we could be putting in a higher low right now, so I do like that. The one that I think is probably worth waiting for, and when I say volatile or, like I said, this sector is going to be trickier. A lot of people already have this one in phase. Now, in phase, kind of, we're on a weekly chart right now. The last couple of weeks have been green. We went from zone to zone. It took 2 weeks to do so, but we went from 59 to 72. Now, granted, it's as I'm recording this, it is Thanksgiving week. So it's a short week this week. But like I said, this will probably see some pretty volatile swings. I do have it, but I kind of want a higher low to get put in first. So technically speaking, I want to push up, maybe get above this zone, come back, bounce off that zone from the top, making that higher low. So this is at a low it hasn't seen in a very long time. And some argue making it one of the better plays. If it does turn around and gets back to regular levels, regular or previous levels. I'll put that way. I don't want to say regular, previous levels. Even jumping back up to here, you almost double your money. Getting way back up here, now we're talking about tripling your money, and that's not even its highs. At that point, you're 5 times your money right there. Things are looking all right. But again, that reward will not come without risk. Tesla, again, not only stands out for its battery storage, but also he put all of his chips in Trump's corner, and right now I think that's gonna benefit him. And we'll see. As long as that relationship lasts, I think it could be fruitful. Again, it does need to continue. All right, but we do need to cover the industry I would probably avoid in 2025, or at least be watching to buy later on if things get bad and really sell off. So first and foremost, it's going to be tech. Now, here's tech's uh, chart right here. Now, this is the Rona crash right here. That's that little blip. Yeah, that was the Rona where we shut the world down. All right, so some tech tickers, they're at all-time highs, which is great. But many analysts do believe that these companies have not grown into their valuation. Case in point, Palantir. For example, great company, but its price might have stretched a little too far in the near term. So other big names in tech also face fears, as far as tariffs and a potential trade war, or a tariff war, like with China. So Trump has hinted. So Trump he hinted at that in his first term. I don't know. He hasn't really hinted at that again, but that's kind of what everybody's already been talking about. Because during his presidency, tariffs on Chinese goods increased the cost for companies heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing. I know a lot of people think Apple Now, Apple did see slimmer margins and increased consumer pricing, but they kind of made a deal because Apple, I think, is so big. If we really go into a tariff war and we play the back and forth game, that only hurts both of us. So a lot of this could just be posturing. When the tariffs were going back and forth, they did cut a break to Apple in general. So uh, the other industry, um, I'm going to call it. So technically, it's manufacturing, and that is manufacturing chips, manufacturing anything because of these tariffs and everything. But I want to go a step further because the one I'm really watching out for, because if we're talking about chips in general, when I talk about manufacturing, someone could say chips, but I also think there is a safe place as to some of those tech tickers in general. They might be the safe stock to have in your money because if we do face recessions or anything like that, we could just get decimated. But there's some of those companies you just know, like, it might be a rough year, but NVIDIA's not going anywhere. Like, what world do we live in that NVIDIA or AMD or Meta just aren't here in 2026? So, not that that's in manufacturing, but right now I want to talk about the automotive because this industry could struggle under Trump's policies. So, tariffs alone can significantly hurt that industry. So raising costs, slowing sales. I forget who was going to build a gigafactory, a giant factory in Mexico. Trump, not even president yet. I don't know if he wasn't even elected. We haven't even had the vote. Said, I'm going to raise tariffs. I'm going to raise taxes 200%, and they canceled the factory. So this is you're gonna get wrecked. I think this industry at least. I know right now we're having problems with Nissan. Nissan right now I think only has a year left. They're at a make or break it point. I know Honda I think is going to partner with them, but they are in trouble. Uh, so when Trump imposed steel and aluminum tariffs during his first term, companies like Ford and GM saw their production costs rise, forcing prices to hike on vehicles. Additionally, as I previously mentioned, I anticipate for inflation or unemployment to return. So that's definitely going to cause this industry could become a ghost town for some. So while this might create opportunities for a great dip buys, it's just not the one I want to ride all the way down. Let's just look at Ford real quick. Ford's kind of just sideways, but do you want to just rock that thing all the way? Now, this was the Rona crash, but before that, let's talk about right here 585. You want to just be in a Ford position getting cut in half? Now, I don't know if anyone buys government motor stills, but somebody does. General Motors. Look, that's at a peak. That honestly, again, not financial advice. I genuinely might actually open a short on GM. I think there's other. I do like to just buy things. It's occasional. I'm not against shorting, but it's few and far in between because there's usually just better opportunities for me to just buy and not have to worry about that. But genuinely, I might actually open a short position just on GM just for this in general. If this does turn around, I might actually enjoy the ride down on that one. But anyway, so there you have it. The two industries poised to thrive under Trump's presidency in 2025, and the industry you just might want to avoid or at least approach with caution. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You do all the cool YouTube stuff. If you want more insights on how to position your portfolio or to profit from political or economic shifts, if you're wanting to get access to my charts or trading community, like everyone else, you can't just check out the Patreon. It'll be pinned in the comments down below, so you don't have to go to the description. And also the last video where I did do a deep dive on XRP and why I just bought it. So huge thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in one of the live streams. Have a good one.